All right, everyone. How are you today? I am Sean Tripp, and this is my first time actually doing a YouTube video. So let's see how we can go. We got some 2021 drawings that we need to sketch out here. I have wanted to do a sketchbook tour for a long time, but I got two. This one, we're not going to go over long because there's not many pages, and this one, we just got a lot because 2021 for me in drawing, I have improved my skills a lot over the years, and I felt like I'm getting better and better. So let's go into the sketchbook, and we're not going to explain a lot of things here, but we just wanted to show you a few things based from my sports, and a lot of it's drawn in ballpoint pen. Obviously markers. This friend of mine, I have drawn her a lot. You'll be seeing a lot of that one. Kind of inspiration of a hand coming out of a can, and another sports fan. Now, this was the Lightning Stanley Cup, so I have drawn a few coworkers. One guy bragging about the cup, and the other one's like annoyed because he's bragging about the cup. This one also drawn in marker, I believe. Yeah, because it's bleeding. So this was marker drawn, and I believe this one was colored pencil, if I'm not mistaken, or maybe the Tombow water-based markers. But I drew like a Samsung Galaxy phone with a hand sticking out on it, kind of like something to dream on. And I drew somebody with green hair. Again, life of a sports fan, as I like to call it. I have titled it at this point of life, and talking about how the Lightning Stanley Cup. Now, I drew a cyborg girls and a man that apparently lost an arm. I don't know why, but yeah, these were like cyborg girls. I'm not sure if this one, I think this one as well. And this one, I added a Hooters into the tank top. These were mostly Pinterest models. I drew a Vader in a suit, or pretending to work here, and I tried to draw Jack Torrance from The Shining, and this crazy nut saying "get back here" with the blood coming out from the elevator. So kind of like a Shining mix in there. More of like work-based comics, and yeah, I've known to draw television with the baseball being smashed into the TV every time my Rays lose. So, won't see a lot of those this year because of the baseball lockout, but you know, something to keep in mind as well. So I try to draw like colorful comic bubbles. Another Pinterest model. This one's from Imagination. Apparently, this was a Vader series. I've also known to draw Darth Vader a lot, and I drew Darth Sidious. Not too evil, apparently, but I've drawn him. And this was another girl with a mask looking frightened. I have found some references, anime drawings, poses for random, so I just added some hair, maybe some eyewear, and yeah, a fictional love story that was, well, really, I've drawn a bunch of those in different sketchbooks, and I'm not going to show all the sketchbooks, but more Pinterest models, YouTuber Jess Carp's hand, and I think one of her videos was like, write your name in funky letters, so I just write down a ticket that says your name in funky letters. Another Imagination. Apparently I don't know how to draw somebody in a trash can, but yeah, he's trash. More about, I think like I was trying to draw green backgrounds, and I drew some candles, more, and of course, New Year's Eve, I have decided to make the last drawing of New Year's of 2021 as Vader refusing to clean and got fired for it from a store. So that's it for that one. We're going to explain a lot more on this one because this one's huge. This one's the moleskin. So we just went over the Stillman and Burn, and I'm not a fan of Stillman and Burn a lot because the pages just doesn't lay flat. And so I had a tough time trying to lay those pages flat. Now, here we are with the Sketch 21. This was my main book. And yeah, let's just go ahead and get that. Now, I was trying to draw like a little character of a television, but it just didn't go well. So I gave up on it. So more on the ballpoint pen comics, and a lot of my drawings are made from ballpoint pen, whether it's blue ink, green ink, mostly blue and red and black. That's all I've drawn. This was green, but more of the comics and random comics. So we won't go that far. Here we are. I try to draw a model sitting there. My weakness is apparently still on proportions, but you know, I do try, and I don't give up on trying. And more of the sports fan, because more of the life of the sports fan was started on the other book, and then I finished it on this book. So here we go. And I tried some Copic markers on these pages. The only downside about using Copic markers on sketchbooks like this and my current sketchbook is the bleed on the next page. So I have to use this Bristol board that I don't want to use, and I have to put it between the pages. And then what I normally would do is I would tape those pages, but I try to do different hairstyles. Most of the references were from Pinterest. More on that, sports fan, this was definitely imagination. This was from Pinterest. I think both of them were imagination on this one. And especially when these are people I know, I would know what they look like. Same thing with this one. I think maybe this might have been a reference photo, but I'm not sure. And those were definitely imagination, I can tell. So again, pages, because again, Copic markers. We drew a couple from an alien spaceship, and they were told not to kiss, but they were making that anyway. So more of the Stanley Cup comics. We got, you just said 3 more wins and game 1. So I think we're in the Stanley Cup finals of this comic series. Game 2, yep. So anyway, this was a teammate I had in summer, and then he went to bowl with some of the guys, and I say, go buddy, go Rays. And he's like, Tommy, get your ass up and bowl. And of course, this was like my notes, because like we faced Savannah's team on the 24th. Actually, that did happen, but we faced them in November as well. So it ended up to be like twice, because like teams joined in and all that. This was a very poor quality drawing. I was not happy about that. Now this is where a bunch of my series has started in 2021. So here we go. We drew a hand, and then we made it into a robotic hand, and I put made in China. And then I put turn that shit off for some reason. I just, you know, I don't know how that happens. And then this was based from The Simpsons Treehouse of Horrors back in the 90s when Flanders took over the world. So I put the, hey, what's this Alex doing on TV? And he's like, he's the leader of the world. This was based from Mannequin too, because I put, hey, what is this person wearing a necklace or something like that? I don't know. I forget, but you know, mannequin Jews, so we're drawing like people that turn into mannequins by wearing a necklace. So here we are in another page. We're not going to explain that much. So this is how the Mannequin series started. We just kind of like made a comics, and then it explains like in thought bubbles, like they're talking in silence about what happened and how they became this. This was not part of it. This was like a broken TV. Again, when the Rays lose, we throw a baseball at a TV, and then here's me being told, we're not fixing your TV. I thought it was funny. And this was apparently part 2. I kind of stopped there because I was just running out of ideas. But I did do a lot of the clothing and details and the pants. So I try to draw like, you know, from like mid to almost the top leg part. And then I drew her sitting down with another thing. So here goes that one. This kind of stopped, and then I just went back to like basic coloring or comic drawing. Again, here's Weirdo. Then I drew some faces with ballpoint pen. Now one page is like red and the other one's like blue. And they're all Pinterest models. All of them were from Pinterest. And then this was a comic strip I did when I was outside. We'll just turn it around, and then and then would show you, because like I was sitting at a table for an hour at work, and I was watching the customer service, and then I kind of like drew a comic fantasizing like there were lotto ticket was down and they couldn't get tickets, and then I saw we were wearing masks at the time, and so we try to like the ice cream machine's broken. So yeah, of course we drew him going, what do you mean the ice cream machine's broken? So thanks, Molly, thanks a lot, you really got me the idea. After you saw the lotto systems down, like she's like, you should draw the McDonald's ice cream machine. I was like, okay, well, figuring he goes to McDonald's every day. This was a concept for Inktober, which I never got to finish. But crystals, suit. Then we did the just Tober with the paradise and smile. Then this was vessel. I drew a TIE fighter because you know me, Star Wars fan is, you know. And then I drew a key, which lame, because back then I was moving, so I kind of like didn't have any ideas. I just want to like draw something, and like I drew a comic of random Pinterest, and I drew this one going, you're a cool person, but I won't be that girl. I don't draw a lot of guys on there because I'm no good at it. I'm like, you know, I mostly draw girls, but there's a bowling pin in spirit for some reason, I don't know. And then I try to like mix some things with Oktoberfest, and this was like me on my last day going, you can't just leave. And I go, but I'm moving. And then there's a bird comic going, twisted sister, wipe that smile off your face. So here we go. Rays playoff game. And of course, you know, we threw a TV. And then there's me going with the stencil set that I have somewhere. And then I did the pick, which I like would you like a little lotto ticket with the person's hand. This was completely based from the reference on Pinterest of Ray, and then I just like modified the hair a little bit. It came out really well. No idea who that person was, but it came out really well. More Cyborg series. And then here we go, the bolt's lost. Like, you know, a hockey puck into the television. You will not see any footballs in the TV because I never really drew the books losing. So Inktober became more of a comic series about how a guy was being pranked and he frozen those who were responsible for it for like 45 days or something like that. And then it just became like a whole series, like, you know, like the next day she's holding a compass and it's like calling her a weird girl. And then the people will go looking for her, then they froze them both for 45 days in the moon. I don't know. It was just one of those series where it just kind of like my ideas was like not out there all the time. So we drew a little illustration with a TV saying the lightning lost. And then we drew more faces. These are mostly Pinterest. More Pinterest, more hands, more kissing. My cousin was a reference. There's a stormtrooper. And then, you know, we drew an imagination of a gamer, which I wanted to become a comic series one day, but I just don't know how. And there's a little girl being mean to the boy going, get out now. Next page, I kind of like this one, and I kind of want to redo this one as a piece, and then maybe like sell it as like a postcard or maybe a sticker. But I put 24 pages left on this one, even though there wasn't really 24 pages left because there was some of them that were using Copic markers, and I have to tape the pages together. But this was based on Turkey Trot when my friend goes, my Fitbit exploded. Actually, it's broke. It didn't really explode it, but I had to make it more dramatic, so I made it exploded. And again, this is why I mean Copic markers. And of course, yes, the heart itself was a Copic marker. I think some of the black lines were, and some of the shadows were. And then, again, with the shadows and the background, they were all alcohol markers. This one, I do not believe, yes, alcohol markers as well. we draw a colorful bird, and there's no more window, and it's like, he's showing his displeasure. There's a dog, human dog cursing out. Now, it was not intentional to draw a fist in front of the girl. Not intentional. Orange ballpoint pen, again, some of them were Pinterest, and some of them were like friends of mine. This was Pinterest, this was Pinterest, and this was Pinterest. And I drew going like, it's the aliens. I didn't draw much because of the alcohol markers. You can clearly see, this is what I mean, the bleeding. So this is why, like, I tend to, like, if it's like almost a full page, I would tape both pages together. And this was not the case. The yellow was water-based marker. And he's like, why is this dog laying with his eyes closed? It's like he's sleeping. I don't know where I got that from. Again, based from work, and he goes, your ID, please, sir. And he goes, shit, that bro is not having a good day, and I was trying to buy beer. Friend of mine. I think all of them are friends of mine. I drew birds. I was trying to draw birds, and right away I was starting to draw birds. Also, a friend of mine, her daughter, marriage proposal. It was a thought that came into my head like all of a sudden. I drew a cardinal. There's Darth Vader, based from my days at the store, going, wrong shoes, sir. Oh, my apologies. We're not even going to discuss that. I drew a bird. Drawing birds. Birds came. Now, Darth Vader, I actually did a Vader portrait, and I kind of like want to redo it and improve this one and sell it as like maybe a sticker or something, or show it to Disney, because like, I want to work for Marvel and as a comic book, and I draw Vader a lot, and I'm getting better at the Vader for every year that I have done. So I was at bowling league, right, and there was I would like hold my ball, and my teammate, he'll try to get up, and I think like the lady was trying to bowl, and I say ladies first, right? I think it was before we bowl, and he wanted to bowl, and there was a female bowler on the other opposing team, and I said ladies first, John. So I drew a Vader because Darth Vader at the time really came into my mind, and I'm saying ladies first, holding that ball like that, and I held that ball like that, actually saying that. It's pretty amazing how that came out, and it came out pretty well. So I happened to find a picture that had that pose in my mind. If you hear that fire truck, there's a fire truck. My window's open. Anyway, moving on. I was testing out some Caran d'Ache luminous pencils. I really like them. I begin to like them a little more than the Prismacolors. And I would probably replace those with the Prismacolors over the Prismacolors with the luminous. I would never ever replace my polychromos. The polychromos are like the most best pencils I've used, and I spent like a bunch of money trying to get the whole collection. We reached the end of the book, and like I was just drawing some random things. So like comics here going like, I don't know. It was based back on the other book about the fake romance. This was a Twitter friend of mine. She was holding a cup, so I just decided to like copy the cup, the Woods coffee, and her hand, and it actually came out real well. Jess Carp's hand. I drew a face. I don't know who it was, but I just like draw some random face. There was a cat saying wolf. And of course, no bells until tomorrow. And I'm like, big mistake to order a Sith Lord. Because again, I like to draw anything that's Star Wars based, but also my life. And as we get on the last page, my friend and her cat, as a American Horror Story, because the cat's talking. And then almost to the end, which we're really at the end, to be honest. And I don't know what that is, but yeah. Again, the fake romance. I think the series, it's just a damn series. It's a true series. And then, what I like about these sketchbook is they have these pockets, and you can put a bunch of things in there. And I drew some random comics too. It's like, I'll show you those, because those are like easier to tell. Like, I think it was the day before Christmas, and there's Tommy that I mentioned earlier. And she was talking to the waitress, and she was asking if you wanted cheese. He goes, thanks, beautiful girl. Like, you didn't really say that, but I imagine him saying that. And then seeing my friend for the first time, but the aliens frozen us. And then, you know, then another girl was like searching for them going, have you seen them? And this was, oh yeah, the dreaming that I would ask Savannah out and she said no. What would happen on 12/9, right? Yeah, I don't know. She wasn't even here that night. Later this season, we kissed. Yeah, it's one of those things where you just want to dream on about that and wishful thinking. All right, so that is it for the sketchbook. I want to show you like the historic sketchbook. We're going to do a separate video on the 2020 Illo sketchbook. But, and you can see how bad they were as opposed to this one, because this one has just gotten better. Actually, the Illo sketchbook didn't have a lot of colored pencils or markers as opposed to this one. I use a lot of colors. And so, anyway, that is it for the 2021. Right now I'm in 2022, which is the Lectorum sketchbook, 1917. It's also in A5 format, just A4, or yeah. Also in A4 format, just like my Moleskin, and you know, we had a good start on it. So we really are truly having a good start on it. If you see my shorts, you might have seen the first few pages, but we'll go ahead and just go ahead and sort through real quick because there is going to be a lot to talk about. This is like the Tinder date nightmare that I was briefly making, and that was fun. Of course, I'm in my current page now. So, and the 2022 version of fake romance. All right, so that is it. Hope you like it. Give out your thoughts in the comments and subscribe to my videos so I can be able to make more of these amazing videos and give me some inspiration, motivation, and hope everyone has a great evening.